Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the BOA Balls of Attraction podcast. I am Naja,
Hey, I'm Jewel.
and we are back with another episode, keeping it going with our September theme, which is our back to school theme. Today we are doing the movie House Party. Yes, and we select the House Party because, again, we're doing the September back to school thing. So all of the movies that we're going to be picking this month are going to be movie based, or I should say, movies based on school or school settings or anything that has to do with school, because we
Yeah.
are welcoming everybody back to school. House Party. We're doing House Party 1. Let's
Yes,
keep
the
that in
original.
mind. We're doing That's the original House Party. House Party 1 features big group from back in the day, Kid and Play. One of my favorite groups. One of your favorites? No?
Maybe.
Kid and Play, but Play in the movie decides to throw a party once his parents are out of town. Kid has to sneak away to get to the party, and throughout the night, things get crazy. So, very interesting movie.
It is it's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie to do. If you are here for the first time, welcome. This
Welcome.
podcast is based on Jewel and I. What we do is we like to review these movies that we have not seen since we were kids. So we like to
Yes.
call it our child rewind with an adult mind. Review the movies that 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Haven't seen them since then. It just kind of give a different perspective since we're grown now, and we
Yes.
try to pick up those different takes and different things that we get better.
Absolutely.
Yes, if you guys have movies for Jewel and I that you want us to kind of review, you want to watch it with us, a movie you have not seen since you were a child as well. As you stated, BOA podcast at inbox BOA@gmail.com. That's our
Hey.
email to get in contact with us. And then BOA podcast is actually our website. If you don't feel like traveling, just comment down below and let us know what movies you would like to watch with us and you'd like us to go over.
Absolutely. Yes, girl. You ready to kick it off with our fun facts?
I'm
Hey.
ready. I'm ready. I'm so excited about this movie. This is definitely a classic. Black
It is a
classic.
classic, a classic. So we are doing our fun facts, and at this point, it's where we just go over facts of either the movie or stars in the movie or just things related to the movie.
Part of the podcast. I have to
Yeah.
say that every week. My favorite part.
It is. I appreciate this being your favorite part too. It makes me work hard to find
Thank you.
interesting things.
I hope you got some good stuff for me.
I don't know, girl. I don't
Always got
know.
something good. You always got something good. This is my favorite part. I be so into these facts. Let's go. What you got?
I did my very best. I did my very best on this. So this would be our first fact. Our first fact
Okay.
regarding House Party 1. So the movie was written and directed by Reginald Hudlin.
Okay.
It
Who's
started
that?
off as a short movie for his thesis for film school at Harvard.
Wow.
Right. And then he developed it into a full feature film.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
which is
has this
pretty
director
cool.
worked? Has he worked with other movies? I hate that I don't recognize that name because I feel like somebody's watching, like, oh my gosh, she doesn't know who that is. But has he worked with other films or directed other films that I might be familiar with?
That's a great question because that's also a part of this first fact.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait. I won't get ahead of myself. I won't get ahead of myself. It's
Okay.
very interesting that the director of this movie was a Harvard grad. That's
Yeah,
huge.
absolutely. So, his older brother Warrington Hudlin, he also he produced this movie. So
Oh wow.
this was Reginald's first movie, but another
Okay.
big movie that he wrote and directed and Warrington produced would be Boomerang. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yes, which
Okay.
we
That says
watched.
a
You guys
lot.
need to check out our review of Boomerang. We had a lot of fun with
Please.
that one.
We had a lot of
But in
fun
addition to
reviewing it.
that, though, they had cameos in House Party and Boomerang.
So they ran the movie.
They were in both movies. So on House Party, they were the two guys that were the robbers. Remember when the dog was chasing them and
Yes.
they got on the bus? Yeah, so that was them. And then in Boomerang, they were when Eddie Murphy character was stood up by Robin Givens character outside the theater. They were
It
the
was
two brothers with the Rolex. Yes.
Wow.
And that's cool though, right?
That's so cool. I love how sometimes they insert themselves in movies, but it's not
Yeah.
like the biggest role, but they put themselves in there. Not on the Spike Lee tip, but like how they
Yeah.
just kind of insert themselves in their little teeny roles. That's dope.
Little
That's
teeny roles in
interesting.
both. It's interesting though that in both movies they were like criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is like a Harvard graduate. Not to say that Harvard graduates aren't criminals,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. No, I wouldn't have got that at all.
No, I thought that was pretty cool too. So that moves us to fact number 2.
Can I say this really quick?
Yeah,
And
for
I think
sure.
that's interesting in part, that they were the criminals in House Party too. Because when I was watching that, I was like, why they put this in the movie? Like, it was like a thought, like, why they put this in here? Because it had nothing to do with the movie. But
Yeah.
now I get it. That makes total sense. That's awesome.
It's cute. It's cute. And
It is.
it's funny too because the dog and the TV hit
That
the
was a
car.
funny
Yeah.
part. It
Yeah.
really was a funny part. What happened
Yeah.
to Homie Shoe? It was a funny part.
Yeah, yeah. So, number two, this fun fact is about John Witherspoon and Robin Harris, who have both passed on at this point.
Yeah. Oh.
But well, their scenes in the movie, both of them were mostly improvised.
Really? I am
Yeah.
not surprised. I am not
No,
surprised.
no, because
I,
that kind of carries over with John Witherspoon with Boomerang. That was one of the facts that I gave, that his scenes were mostly
yes.
improvised as well.
I love it. I love it because a lot from John Witherspoon's scene is still, that's a really big part of pop culture. We
Yeah.
always say call in the police. That's something that we
Yeah,
always
yeah.
say is that line from that. So that's a big deal. Just like we always say you have to coordinate. So,
Yeah.
he's improvising these lines that he just made up on the spot or whatever, but we're saying it 20, 30 years later. That's awesome.
And they still mean something. And
And they
people,
still,
people know what they come from for sure.
yes, that's awesome. That's a big deal. He
That
was
is a
so
big deal.
funny.
He
That's a
was
funny scene.
hilarious. And that says something too about his talent, that we have two movies
Yeah.
where they were like, just do what you do. You
Do
know
what
what I
you
mean?
do.
Yeah.
You just got full. Just do what you do.
Just do what you do. That's like huge. That's a huge
Yeah.
compliment to your talent. But then with Robin Harris, his lines were also improvised, and a lot of them came from his stand-up, like the test tube baby, the baby kid
Yeah.
remarks. Yeah. But one thing that was really sad, that he died 9 days after this movie was released.
No way.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
No way. I didn't
A
know
heart
that.
attack. Heart attack.
And that's something. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
9 days after the movie was released, man,
Yeah.
you don't even get to see your greatness on screen.
And it's
That
a
happens in
classic. It's a
history.
classic.
It's a huge movie. It's a classic. Yes, we
Yeah,
didn't get to
okay.
see it.
So then our final one takes us
9 days,
to
man, that's tough.
so the movie was originally written for Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. Well, I should say Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. Yeah.
Now you know how I feel
know.
about that. That would have been oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Now that's one I'm gonna tell everybody. Like that movie was written for Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. I can see that.
I could see
I
it
can
too,
see
because they
that.
were huge at the time. Yeah.
Man.
But this, I found two conflicting stories, so I'm not sure which would be true. So the first one I found is that because New Line Cinema was suing Will Smith and Fresh Prince because of they had a song titled Nightmare on My Street or something like that.
Yeah.
So as part of the deal, they had to be in a movie with New Line Cinema, but the directors did not want to put either of them in the movie. So that's the first one that I heard. The second thing that I read, I should say, is that Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince decided to turn it down.
Okay.
And then Kid and Play picked it up. However, now I don't know how true this is.
Okay.
They're saying Kid and Play was offered Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they turned it down, the TV show. And then they turned it down.
Look at fate. Look how fate, man, like I'm just going like, okay, that's
the possibilities.
The possibilities. I think I'm not really seeing that, but who knows, that could have worked. But those are amazing fun facts. Wow, that was great.
Well, good. So absolutely,
having a fact-gasm. That was great.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah,
yes. That was good. That was some good. I'm obsessed with who played it. That should be its own little segment in itself. Who played it, or who could have played it?
Who could have played it is interesting.
Fresh
for sure.
Prince.
Yeah. So let's move on to our trivia. So at this point, we are going to try to stomp Naja.
Yes. Every week, Jewel comes with the trivia question, and her goal is to stump me.
Right.
Hoping I don't get it. I got the last one though. Our last podcast that we did, Lean on Me, our back to school theme. Check that one out. I actually got the question right.
You did, absolutely. I think you have a good chance with this one too. I think this is a good one. So we are going to try to stop Naja. We're going to ask Naja the question now, and then later in the podcast we'll revisit for the answer. Okay. So this is pretty. I think it's pretty easy. What are Kid and Play's names? Their birth names, their real names, their government.
I think I know this.
Okay.
I think I know this. So we'll see.
I want you to know it. Yeah, I think you can pull it off. I have faith in you.
I'm so terrible. I'm sitting here saying Biggie's name in my head, but okay. No, it's not.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay.
Okay. I think I can get it by the time we get around to it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we are going to move on to our child rewind.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. This is our child rewind. Okay.
Yes. Hell yes.
Child interpretation of this movie. I want to say that I liked this movie a lot as a kid. I thought it was funny, but there were so many jokes as a kid that went over my head that I just did not get because I just wasn't old enough to get them and understand them.
For sure.
But I thought it was a fun movie, and I thought it was a very cute movie.
Yes.
And I also say this is about part 2, but can I still say it because it's a fun fact?
For sure.
My cousin used to work at the radio station back at home.
Yeah.
And so she got us free movie premiere tickets at the Mercury Theater to see the premiere of part 2. So this was like a month before the movie had even came out.
That's fun.
And so the radio guy was there. I think it was like Tune Up Man. I mean, shout out to the D. It was like real
still
old
out here. Shout out to Tune Up Man. Yeah.
Okay. It was like Tune Up Man here. And he was giving trivia questions. He was passing out things. Passing out like merch and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was, in part 1, what did the cop call kid as he was walking down the street? And I'm legit 10 years old. And I raised my hand. And I was like, Eraserhead! And the entire theater fell out laughing. The entire theater.
Yeah.
And That Man was like, yes, that was it. And everybody was cracking up. And he tossed me a football. It was like a little soft football.
Yeah.
House party 2 on it. And I brought it to school the next day. And we was all playing with it on the playground. I just wanted to tell that story.
That's a great story.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, getting there.
As a kid, I liked it.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5 as a kid.
Yeah.
I liked it.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? Yeah.
I liked it. It was good as a kid. Like I was 10, I didn't know what I was watching, but I loved this movie. And this is a movie I watched over and over as a kid. So I give it a 5, yes.
Okay. So I liked it too. I liked it a lot. We watched as a kid. Yeah. Okay. We watched it a lot growing up. It's so iconic and so full of like hip hop culture and Black culture. And it's just so many kids just genuinely having a good time. Yeah. There's some sex in it. So my mom was a little bit iffy about it. But overall, I think it was a positive theme and message. So my mom let us watch it and we watched it a lot. So I'm with you. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
See, good, because you are hard on movies. You're hard on movies.
No.
You're so hard on movies. But okay, a 5 is legit. But
it's a 5 is legit. That's as high as it can go. That's
a movie.
It's just like saying, Black teenagers just enjoy their life.
They were really having fun.
Yeah, and that's all they were doing, is trying to have fun. At the end of the day, they're just trying to have fun, and I'm 100% with it for sure.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Go. Okay.
All right. So let's go to our adult perspective, which is I know with our adult perspective, sometimes it matches, sometimes it's different.
Sometimes it's different.
We have these teenagers. It starts off at school, and we have pretty much the protagonist of this movie would be Kid.
It is,
which is something I didn't realize as a kid, as a child. I thought it would be both of them together, but Kid is definitely the star of this movie.
It was centered around Kid, definitely.
So, Kid's objective is to make it to this party, hook up with these girls, and not get beat up.
Yes.
Yeah, and then everything else.
A hell of a night.
Yeah, a hell of a night. It's an adventure. It is. It is an adventure.
Yep.
It's an adventure. So at this point, let's start with the beginning. He's in the lunchroom. He gets into a fight with Full Force.
Yes.
He
gets into that just sets the tone of the bullies. The antagonist, is that what it is?
Yeah, they would be the antagonist for sure.
Yeah, so that just sets the tone, introducing the bullies into the movies. Full Force. Yes.
Were they believable bullies to you?
I think so, yeah. They're buff with Jerry curls. Yeah, they were buff with Jerry curls and cut off shirts and muscles. They were definitely believable bullies to me. Yes.
Yeah, girl hit Stab, is that his name? But his shirt was crazy with all these cuts and like this V-neck. It was crazy.
Yeah, Stab. That sounds like a bully. That sounds crazy.
Girl, I was thinking, I didn't know their names as a child, but Stab, Pee-wee, and Zilla.
Zilla?
Yeah, like I'm thinking like Godzilla.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Zilla.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Pee-wee.
Yeah. So, kid's in trouble at school because he gets into his fight. He goes home. His dad seems like a nice guy, actually, and a
He
reasonable
does.
guy.
Yeah,
But
he
he's
does.
like, yo, you fucked up. You can't go to this party today. So his alternative, like in all these movies, I'm
Yeah.
gonna sneak out.
I want to say, as a kid, his dad was the bad guy because he didn't let him go out.
Yes.
As an adult, he wasn't a bad guy. Like you said, he really was a good guy. He
Yeah.
asked his dad, can I go to this party? His dad was like, oh, I had plans for us tonight. Well, if you got to go, you got to go.
Yes.
So his dad was a sweet guy. His dad was actually a good guy.
Yes, he did. Did you see the breakfast he made for him before school? It was laid out.
I never noticed that as a kid. How he made a big ass breakfast for him. I never noticed that.
Yes.
Yeah. So his dad was such a good guy.
He cared about him because he's like,
He
these
did.
are bad influences. You are. And they made a lot of reference to kid being a nice kid. They're like,
Yeah.
you're a nice boy. We don't want you to do this. Stay home.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah, but he doesn't stay home, and then just madness erupts. He has a good night too. At the end of it, he does have a good night, but it's crazy.
He has a crazy night. I mean, even when he's walking to the party, he gets stopped by the police immediately.
I hated to see that. I really did hate to see that.
It's always hard to see things that are still happening and things that's relevant. I thought about relevant. I thought about that too, how in a lot of movies that we watch sometimes police brutality still comes up. Like that's always been a thing. Black people, cops messing with black people has always been a theme in movies. You know, like it's been something that's always been there, whether we ignored it or not or understood it as kids. That's something that's always been in music and movies. Like that's crazy. It's been filmed now, but that has always been
pretty much everyone is at this party. Bilal and Bilal and Play has made it back to the party.
Finally, he's back. Yes,
after he
at his own party.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So kid's back at the party. He immediately hooks up with, Play introduces him like, hey, guess who finally made it to the party or whatever.
He was the man. He was the man. The party's crazy. It's just hands in the air. Like it's just it's party. It made me miss those kind of parties. Now they call them kickbacks where everybody just sit around on their phones all day. But back in the day they really partied. It was really just non-stop. It probably was so dancing. Funky up in there because it was non-stop.
Buck wild party. And I thought that was dope. I love watching that. Yeah.
I loved it too, and everyone was so cool with each other. There was only one guy drinking. There were no drugs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone was chill. There were no arguments.
Yeah. So I really loved. There's only one guy drinking. He got towed down too.
He sure did.
He got
they dropped him off. They took him back where he came from and left.
And knocked on the door and ran. That's so funny. That's a classic part too.
Yeah.
I see the light. I see the light. He was like singing on the way home. That's a good part.
You were talking about Sydney and
Sherane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sydney and Sherane. Okay. What would you like?
I just wanted to discuss the dynamics of the relationship because, again, I kind of had a friendship like that when I was younger, like, younger teenager, adolescence, early teenager. I had a friend like that where we were friends and we knew that we were friends, you know what I'm saying? But when it came to boys, I do feel like sometimes she was just, like I said, a little bit more aggressive. And the boys would always choose her because she would put herself out there a lot more. And I feel like that was Sherane. And then if I would immediately stop being interested in a guy when I would see that, you know what I'm saying, that's just the kind of friend that I would immediately pull back. But then me pulling back would also cause me to have an attitude. So then it would just be like, oh, now you're jealous. And it's like, no, I'm not jealous. I just see how you plan these dudes and how you done basically took the dude. So it was kind of like that dynamic of their friendship. They were friends and had each other's back, but she did kind of, I don't want to say she stole them. She was just more aggressive.
You mean Sherane?
Sherane had Kid and Play after her. They both wanted her. Yeah, they didn't really want Sydney. Even Play was just like, which one do you want? And he was like, you take Sydney. Sherane is mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Kid wanted Sherane. That's what he kind of was going after. He kind of settled for Sydney. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they both wanted
settle
her.
For Sydney. That's true. Yeah. That's a very true statement.
He settled for her. It's because he got to know her, which is, what happened to me when I was younger. but he settled for her, I guess, in some sense.
She's not a bad person to settle for, too.
No.
She's cute, she's funny, she's smart. They had other things in common, but this is because at some point I was thinking like, well, what are you doing, Sydney? Like, why are you, still pursuing him? And he obviously wants your buddy. But I thought this movie did a really good job at painting these two girls as real friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? They did not let these boys come in between them at all because they, there was a little tough. And she was like, well, girl, you know how you are. She was like, I know. And then, they settled it like this without drama, without argument.
They settled it, but it was almost like she walks, they both want Shireen, okay?
Yes.
But from the very beginning, most of the movie, they both kind of want Shireen. You know what I'm saying? They flirt with both of them, but they really both want Shireen. And Shireen and Sydney, it's like, it's a toss-up. We tossing them up wherever the chips fall. You get this one, I get that one. They never really decided on who they wanted either to each other. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like how it happened. So on the walk home, Shireen and Kid, it's obvious they paired up. They're walking home, so it's obvious they paired up. You know what I'm saying?
You mean Sydney and Kid?
No. when they first
okay,
home,
when all three of them were together.
Yeah, when all three of them were together, Shireen and Kid, they paired up. Okay. It was clear that he liked her. You know what I'm saying? Yes. She was walking behind him.
He was being more attentive to her.
Exactly. So it's clear that he wanted her because he's talking to her. You talk to the girl that you want. Yeah. So at that point, Sydney was pissed. That's when Shireen was like, do I detect jealousy? So I do feel like they actually did like let boys come between them just a tad bit because she was like, are you jealous? She was like, no. Why are you trying to play them like that? And she like, no, I'm just doing this because like, listen, life is short, blah, blah, blah. Like she was kind of the bad person.
Yeah.
It was real, but she was kind of the bad person because she was playing two friends. She was flirting with both of them. She gave them both hope that they had a chance with her. You know what I'm saying?
And
Sydney took the back seat because she was like, kind of like, I don't want no parts of that. That's not right how you plan them. And she only ended up with Kid because they walked home together. That's the only reason why she ended up with him.
Well, let's go back a little bit because even on that walk, so like you said, he is being more attentive to Shireen. Yeah. He walks Shireen to her door and he tries to kiss Shireen at the door.
That's big.
You know what I mean? He tried, but then they end up. That's huge. That's huge. And then they go into the house together, and like you said, Shireen and Sydney, they have this conversation. Sydney's like, "Look, I'm just trying to whatever's the best option. I'm trying to have fun."
Exactly. She was just trying to have fun.
Yeah. So
and then she was like,
a legit way to feel.
Well, she was like, listen, he still got to walk you home. You can try and take him. She was like, if you want him, you can have him. And that's what you say. I'm not like you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like you. And then they walk out the door. So I feel like they did have a little bit of spat over these guys, but it got resolved later on that night. Obviously, it just was like whatever. But I think that they are still real friends. Yeah. But I feel like the boys did almost come between them a little bit.
No, well, I think they had a conversation where, and I think that speaks, and I thought they did a good job because in these movies, these women are usually put against each other and arguing and then friendships end, but they did a really good job at them they talked about it, they said what it was, and then, that was just it.
Yeah, you can tell that they were homegirls.
Yeah,
you can tell that they were homegirls.
Which that could really break up a friendship. It would still try to, and that's another thing too. When they were actually at the party before they left, and kids asking Sydney, "Do you want to dance?" And then she's like, "Pretty much no, because I just seen you all over my homegirl."
Yeah.
But then he's like, "Well, no, I still like." He's still trying to talk to her and be cool with her. But then Sydney Shireen comes over there, and then his attention goes right back to Shireen.
You ready to go yet?
And you notice his energy was different with her. He was more lit up and excited to be around her. He was more cordial, you know what I'm saying, with Sydney. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I felt like he kind of settled for her, or he was just being. He thought she was cute. He liked her, but I think they both just wanted Shireen. Shireen had more of that spunk that they wanted.
Yeah,
you know
for sure.
So. Yeah,
then on the actual walk home, which between Sydney and Kid, they talk, they get to know each other. He finds out about her family's grocery business.
Yes, crazy chips and dip. Yes, he found out about her.
So that was a pretty quick a few minutes for them to become closer. So they're outside the house, and she's like, "I would invite you in, but my parents are not here, and we got to get going." And then it cuts, and we see them making out.
Yeah, I know that it was pretty quick, you know what I'm saying? But the walk home with her still was just different. The conversation was different. They started talking about college. She was like, I heard about your mom a while back. I'm sorry. They talked about college application. They talked about what your mom does. And like the conversation was just different as opposed to when he walked home with Shireen. It was like, most guys drop me off at the front door because somebody was sniping people on the roof. And the energy was just different. And I think that's what made him fall for Sydney because he got to know her on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Again, the energy was just different.
I would be like, the energy.
You didn't really like Sydney when it comes.
No. I like them both a lot. I like them both a lot because I think they both handle it very well. I think the writing handled it maturely.
Exactly.
I think the actresses did a really good job at showing that this is a part of life, but it's not all of life. You know what I mean?
She didn't steal him back.
Yeah.
She didn't try to steal him back. It was just a simple walk home and they got to know each other.
They got to know each other. Even at the part where she says to him, what do you want from me? What is it that you want, kid? And he's like, I want to be your friend. Yeah. And she's like, well, friendships mean this to me. You know what I mean? So So that's why I went back and forth because they did paint him as a nice guy, and I felt he was a nice guy, even with the condoms, where she's like, do you have that thing? And he's like, they're going back and forth about it. So
he was a nice guy.
I did think he was a nice guy. It just wasn't enough for me to move forward with.
So you basically saying that it was wrong for her to talk to kids?
No, not because of that. No. I don't think anyone had any ties, so she could have talked to him, but I just feel like Kid wasn't worthy of her to give the attention to at this point because
he just tried to kiss her best friend,
like you said, because it felt like he was settling. Like I would have felt like he was set. Like I'm available because that's how I'm available now. So now you're in my face.
That's how I felt. And maybe settling is harsh, but it did feel like he ended up with her. He wanted this one, but he settled for her because that's who he wants.
Because she's available.
She was more available.
And like Play told him, she does like she has this space and you can be with her in this space.
Exactly.
So
exactly. It's Play. You're right. Play told her like you don't want a project girl. Her parents are always home. Both for Sydney. Her parents are always gone. So it worked out that way. Play was right.
Yeah, I mean, but in the long run, no spoilers. Well, spoiler, but they end up. Did they get married?
No.
Okay.
It's a part 3. Who you think he married?
Oh, that's right. He married that one lady from Friday. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. But they almost got married, and they were together for a long time. So it kind of worked out in the long run of things. But
yeah. So moving on from that, the walk home, the party. I feel like we missed out on so much.
We did.
So much happened.
We can go back to the party. So we've left the party and ended the movie, but let's go back to the party. So they have the famous dance scene where they do the dance battle.
Infamous dance battle scene. Classic. Still happening all across 80s and 90s parties throughout the world. People are still doing that infamous routine. Yes, the kid in play never dies. The kid in play itself never dies. What I love most about that dance scene is the very, very, very beginning when him and Groove actually start the dance routine off together, and they walk up and they like, he drunk, they laughing. But Groove is into it. Like
he can do it. He can do
it. And that's so funny that he's dancing. Like he was really about to do a dance competition or a dance off with Groove. But Groove did one spin and was done.
But he was hanging tough for a second. He was hanging tough for a second.
That's why that part is so great because he really was hanging tough, and you can see the seriousness on his face. But he had them damn dance moves, so that's my favorite part.
That I would agree. I like that part. I like the girls dance too. How they started off too. I thought they were so damn cute.
They were so cute, and they could dance their ass off.
They could dance there, and Shireen, she choreographed the entire dance.
I did not know that.
She did, yeah. AJ Johnson is a choreographer, so she choreographed the entire dance. I think Kid Play dance was already a thing, though. I think that's something that they would have been doing with Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper,
because they were background dancers for Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper played those girls.
Girl, My girl Pep could have been Shireen. My girl Pep could have been Shireen for
and
sure.
then, man, Salt and Pepper could have. I'm gonna start that rumor that Salt and Pepper was supposed to be Sydney and Shireen.
That would have been cute. And Spinderella as the DJ, that'd have been
man,
super
cute. Let's rewrite the whole part 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super cute.
That'd have been dope. But yeah, so the routine was amazing. That's a classic part of the scene. The guys killed it, the girls killed it. You know what I'm saying?
They all look so good.
They did. And it's interesting to me how the guys were dressed for a party, a regular house party. They had on suits. You know what I'm saying? Like nice pants, like church outfits. You know what I'm saying?
They were dressed.
This is what
Everyone
they're wearing.
was dressed nice. Yeah.
Everyone was dressed so nice. I loved it. For a house party on a weekday.
That's another thing. It's during the middle of the week. It's like
middle of the week.
School day. It's like what?
It is a school day, and they had a big ass house. Like this was like so Saturday night.
Yes.
On a Tuesday night, or Thursday, whatever. That's crazy.
Yeah. And you know what, though? For the most part, they were respectful of play stuff. Other than the toilet, everything was good.
Other than that damn toilet that they broke, yeah, everything was good. That's dope, yo. That's crazy.
Them were some good kids. Them were some good kids.
Yeah. I know. We are back.
Yes.
Slight technical difficulties, but we are finished. I mean, we're here to finish and deliver the rest of this for you. We actually are going to get into our adult rating, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we both seem to enjoy the movie. What is your adult rating?
All right. So I did, again, want to, just reiterate, I did really enjoy this movie as a child. It's one of those movies that was just funny, and I have not gotten all the jokes, but I knew that it was still a funny movie. Big fan of Martin as a kid.
Yes.
Watching this movie as an adult, getting the jokes, understanding a lot of the jokes, understanding, a lot of the funniness and Clay's character, who I really fell in love with as an adult. Yeah. I am going to give this movie a 5.
Okay, that's major.
You know me.
I kind of had the feeling. We're headed to a 5.
Because I guess it's like, why would I give it anything lower? It was a good movie. It's a classic movie. I loved it. I felt like, how we always talk about the components and the pieces being put together. I feel like things did kind of flow okay. Like it was a good movie. I liked it as a kid. I liked it even better as an adult. So I'm going to give it a 5. It's a classic.
Okay. All right. I feel you. Very good. Okay. So I liked it a lot. I said, I did have like some questions, some issues with Kid and Sydney, but I really like how the writer wrote it out, how it was handled, how they talked about it, how the whole he likes me, but I like him. He likes my friend. I like how that was resolved peacefully without any drama. I'm with you too. Like, it could have been so much drama. Yeah. I'm with you too. I like Play a lot this movie. I wish he was a star actually in the movie.
Because he wasn't the star, right? It was kind of based on Kid, and Play was like the friend. So the movie wasn't about them. It was about Kid. So but Play was awesome in this movie.
Play was so awful. He was awesome. He was so cute too. And I kind of wish it was a follow up what happened in his day. Because I'm sure his day was wild too.
You know what? That's interesting you say that, because even part 2 was still about Kid. Yeah. Part 3 was about Kid. You know what I'm saying? So they wrote all these stories about Kid. They didn't write anything about Play. Play was just like the person egging all these events on. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't really write a story about him. That would have been interesting, because Play was, I don't say he was a better character, but he was a more interesting character.
Well, he was interesting. He's so cute to me. Like so that's cute. Like no, he's so cute to me. Yeah, he was so but cute. I'm also gonna give it a 5. Hey, yeah, how about that? I mean, and you're right. Why would I give it anything else but a 5?
It is a big deal for first-time watchers when Jewel gives a movie a 5, because Jewel, like I always say, is very hard on movies. She is hard on some of the greatest and the classics. She'd be like,
it's just like, but this one was great. Like, it was so positive. The friendships, the relationships, the dancing. There were no drugs, very little drinking. You know what I mean? It was just really good. So
one person had a 40, but that's it.
That's it, like a little camp. Great, and he got towed down, but but so we're in agreement. So high 5 to you.
Good. I love when you give movies a 5. That says a lot. Okay, good.
So let's move on to our trivia.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So the question was, what are Kid and Play real names?
Yes. What are Kid and Play real name? Okay, I joked about this and I said that I was about to say Christopher Wallace. I was
Yeah,
gonna,
Biggie.
but give, give me a second. And I want to say Chris Smith and Chris Kelly. That's crisscross, just so you know.
That's close too.
Their names, I know one is Christopher Reeves, right?
That's Superman. Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reed. Yeah. Yeah. Christopher Reeves is the one with
Reed.
who got paralyzed. Yeah.
No, okay. Kid is Christopher Reed.
R-E-I-D. Yep, Reed.
Not Christopher Reeves. That was close.
That was close.
And then the other one is Chris too, right?
Yep.
I don't know his last name. I just know Christopher Reed. I don't know.
Martin. Christopher Martin.
Dang it. How could I not know that?
Well, there's so many Chris. There's Chris Pine, Chris Elliott. There's like a million Chris's.
Yes. So, okay. So do I get a half a point? Or I just don't get it at all?
What do you guys think? Should we give her a half point? Did she get half credit?
I even messed up Christopher Reed, honestly.
Girl, you knocking yourself off the box. No, you get no credit.
Yeah, I just got, I'll be honest, I even got the first one kind of wrong. So it's okay. We won't count this one. I was close.
Okay. Yeah, but
I was in the ballpark.
Yeah, but like you said, Christopher Wallace, Chris Kelly, Chris Smith, like there's too many.
That's so many. Chris Kelly and Chris Smith is a good answer. That is a good answer. And Kid and Play and Crisscross are very similar in their dynamic, where one was lighter, one was brown. They both name was Chris. They didn't dance as much, but I mean,
well, they made us jump.
They did make us jump.
Actually,
they did make us jump. That's very important. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to get out of here. I do want you guys to definitely talk to us in the comments and let us know what movies you recommend for us to watch. Also, you can send us an email at inboxboa.com@gmail.
There you go.
inboxboa@gmail.com. I check that all the time, and you guys are really reaching out. So thank you guys so much for that. And then also visit our website. It's boapodcast.com.
There you go.
Again, absolutely. If you don't feel like traveling, definitely speak to us in the comments as well and let us know what movies you recommend from the 80s and 90s, early 2000s. Jewel and I will rewatch those movies. Join us, and we'll come back and we'll talk about them.
Absolutely. I'm for it.
All righty. Anything else?
That's everything. This was
all right.
Fun.
All right. I'm going to a house party.
All right.
See you next week.
Bye.